Hello, my beautiful people. It's Lena. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome. We're going back into time. We're going back into And Just Like That, season 1. You guys voted for it, you requested it, and I'm rewatching and I'm finally doing a review because for most of you who have been watching me, I've only really reviewed season 2. So I'm going to go back and watch every single one of those episodes for season 1, where I know for a fact is when the decline of the show started. We're past episode 1, Big's death. I cried. We passed episode 2, Big's funeral. I cried. And now we're in episode 3, When in Rome, which is the one I would like to call the Natasha Chronicles, with a hint of shotgun for Miranda. Okay, people, let's get into it. Scene open. Carrie's at her podcast. Carrie's at the podcast with Jackie and Che. Worst podcast ever. I wouldn't watch or listen to this thing if it was real for nothing. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of podcasts that are out there like that. I can choose not to watch it, just like I can choose not to watch this show, but unfortunately I'm watching the show, so I have to listen to this. I've watched this scene several times, and I'm going to try to remember what was being said in the scene opening. Jackie is expressing to the team that there's a woman stalking him. I think it's an ex-girlfriend. I'm not too sure. He's saying that she's crazy, and his mom lives with him, so she's concerned, and that he knows that he's hot, and that's why this woman is stalking him. Jay goes on to say, well, I believe that you're hot. I can't keep my pants on. I want to ride you like the city bike. And when I say I want to ride you like a city bike, that means that when I come, I want to dump you on 14th Street. Okay, let's put that over here for a second. Carrie says maybe she wants her credit card back. Fake laughter button gets put on by the producer. Then Jackie says she's too young to apply for credit. Jay says we shouldn't be talking about underage people, women, children on the show. Then I lost the whole thing after that. I think Carrie said, I want to circle back to something that triggered me, which is city bike. And then the producer says, yeah, I was triggered by that word too. Now, help me out, please. Anybody from New York that's watching this, please. I left New York right around the time, maybe about 2 years before the city bike thing. I know about it, I've seen it, I know what it's about. I don't understand this joke at all. So if you're watching this, what's the joke? Is there something with the city bike that triggers people? I don't get it. So anyone that's not from New York is even going to be more lost. And there goes that scene. That was, let's see, 3 minutes wasted. Next scene, Carrie is getting ready to leave the podcast. And Che comes in and says something to the effect of, how are you holding up? And she said that, well, she feels okay. She got some few zingers in. And Che makes fun of the fact that she uses the word zinger. And that if she wasn't in mourning, that she would actually get on her about that. And the next line is from Carrie that says, well, thank God my husband died, so you can't make fun of me. What? What? It's not funny. I know you're coping, but thank God my husband died? Can this show die? No, I'm sorry, it can't. And this is season 3. Oh, God. So this whole scene is set up because Che is going to be doing a Netflix special, and Carrie announces that she's going to go to the Netflix special, and Che says, oh, you don't have to. And she says, no, I need to go. Okay. There's more of this. I'm sorry. Then you see Carrie and Miranda walking outside towards the building. And all of a sudden, Miranda announces that she's been listening to the podcast. Now, in order to understand this comment, she had refused to ever listen to any podcast ever from the episode 1. And now, because, of course, we kind of figured something was going on at this point with her and Che in her mind. Che is on it. She met Che at the funeral, that now she's interested in listening to the podcast. And Carrie's like, oh, wow, really? Still not connecting the dots. That's Carrie, that is. They walk in towards the building, and Miranda says, oh, that Che, she's so funny. And Carrie, still not connecting the dots, she goes, oh, I'm glad that you feel that way because you're coming with me to her Netflix special next week. And I swear Miranda was about to do a cartwheel backflip. She was so happy to hear. She goes, oh my God, really? I'm like, oh, the descent starts. We lost her in the last episode. We find out what building she's going into. She's going into the reading of the will. They're sitting in an office with big secretary and some other guy. I don't know if he's an attorney, but worst attorney ever. They're starting to read the will. They're going off on the things that he's donating to this and that, and he's got money. I knew he was rich, but wow. Suddenly, the guy that was reading the will gets a phone call from his wife on his, and I say this in exactly the way he said it, on his Apple Watch. Could you be any more product placing? Could you just not say your watch? I mean, he takes the call from his wife, who he's arguing with during the table reading for the will. Do you do that? Do you just get up and start talking in the middle of the room to your wife and during people listening to you? Is that what happens now? Or do we have no decorum, no customer service anymore? Is that what we do now? Okay. We'll fire him. So the secretary keeps reading the will because Carrie has to go to meet Charlotte and take Miranda to lunch after the reading. Okay. The secretary starts to read off the last gifts that he is donating to. And she literally stops and asks Miranda to please help her because she can't read the rest of it. Well, Miranda's like, oh, what's the matter? She finds the page miraculously fast and she reads it and she stops as well. And Carrie is dumbfounded. She goes, what's going on? Why all the drama? What is he donating to? Miranda looks at her and she pushes the paper over to her and puts her finger on the name, and it's Natasha. He's donating $1 million to Natasha. You remember his ex-wife, the one that Carrie broke her tooth because she was in her house on her bed with Big, and she caught them and she ran down the stairs and Natasha fell. Remember that one, right? 25 years ago. See, I don't know how I feel about this. It is odd. I think I would feel some sort of way if my dead husband would do that to his ex-wife. The only reason why I'm saying I'm not sure how I feel about this, because I don't give a furry rat's ass behind about this character or this show. So if this was real, I would probably feel some sort of way. So I would agree with the way that this turns. So next scene, you find Charlotte and Stanford, Willie Garson. I actually believe that I think this is his last sighting, the last scene that he actually plays. I think he's not in the show any further, and this is before he passes away. So he goes up to the restaurant where Charlotte is waiting for Miranda and for Carrie, and Charlotte is shocked because she didn't invite him, but Carrie did. And there's this weird banter between them. I really didn't understand this, and I still don't. Apparently, Charlotte doesn't like Stanford. Apparently, this has been going on for years. I didn't know that. Did you know that? Because this was really strange. I had no idea that they were not really connected. I thought maybe she was a little bit more upset because of what happened episode 2 where he was invited to look at Big's box of death, because that's what I have to call it. He's in a box and he's dead. And he tells Charlotte, this has been coming on for years. You feel that I am not part of the group. And my therapist thinks it's because you're threatened with my relationship with Carrie. Charlotte's reaction is exactly what I said. You talk about me to your therapist, and he says, you've come up. I don't remember any tension between them. I actually don't recall many two scenes with them either. So maybe there is something in there on the line that I'm not aware of. Oh, Willie Gerson. Oh, Stanford. Oh, okay. So they're sitting down at a table, which initially was supposed to be only for the 3 of them, but they had to get a table for 4. And in this table for 4, Stanford is sitting next to the waiter's door. And every time the waiter comes out, it bangs his chair. Carrie and Miranda and Charlotte, Carrie is upset, visibly so. And she's like, why would he leave her any money? What's going on there? What's happening? And Miranda is, of course, being the undercover alcoholic, is waiting to find out where her drinks are. Charlotte, being Charlotte, is saying, well, $1 million is not that much. After taxes, is $450. Those are rich people, stupid lines, okay? Because thank God Miranda says, that's still a lot of money. Yeah. Is $450,000 not good for you? Do you need more? She annoys me. Stanford keeps getting hit from the waiter. He's trying to make a point. Miranda tells everybody that, well, you know, you ruined her life, Natasha's life. And I'm like, ruined her life? My God, it was a divorce. Could you please all get over this? I'm sorry, I got divorced. Get over it. Get over it. Get over it. Please. They're just trying to make a story out of nothing. So Carrie's upset because she's like, it's not about the money. I would be upset if he would have left her $10. Okay, sure. And that she wants to know if this is another wife that he was taking care of. So in comes Carrie's insecurity. I'm like, my God, for real? I would be upset about the money, not about her, to be actually honest with you. I don't know why. I just was looking at her. I'm like, the man is dead. He married you. What more do you want? Okay, answers. Sure. I would want answers too. But she's just going into this Carrie insecure mode that she doesn't even know if he was still in touch with her. Stanford says, do you think they were still in touch? And she's confused. And that's it. That's it for the 4 amigos. And then we don't see Stanford ever again. I don't think we are going to see him after this either. And then I know from here we have to go through the 3 ding-dongs because this is all separating them now. Okay. You know, I really didn't enjoy this episode. Why? Because we're going back to old scenarios and scenes that really don't matter anymore. Because come on, Natasha, really? Did you have to pull it out of your ass? Ding dong number 1, Charlotte. Charlotte is in bed with her child, Rose. And she's reading a book to her. Rose professes to Charlotte that she doesn't like to be called a girl and that she doesn't feel like she's a girl all the time. Charlotte, in pure Charlotte fashion, falls off the bed. Next scene with Charlotte. Charlotte is with Anthony at his hot fellas bread place where he has hot guys delivering sourdough bread to customers. I think it's actually an ingenious idea. I wish I could have come up with that, but I didn't, so that's done. Charlotte is with Rose and Anthony, and Charlotte is telling Anthony, oh, all of this came out of one stinky sourdough bread idea. Anthony, with his one-liner, says, well, during the lockdown, I had to figure out another way to give hand jobs when the gyms were closed. What is happening in these gyms? Where? Is this random? I'm assuming it's all in the men's bathroom. They're not doing it like on a bike, right? I haven't been to a physical gym in a while. Can you tell me if you've seen anybody giving hand jobs at a gym? Drop a comment below with the name and address of the gym so I know I won't get a membership or be circling around that gym ever. Rose asks, what's a hand job? Charlotte says, it's a job that you do with your hands, like you're doing now. Anthony says to Rose, speaking of jobs, you stink. Please use deodorant. Stop skateboarding and freshen up. Little girl. Charlotte gets triggered and she goes, Anthony, I need to see you outside. And Anthony thinks it's because of what he said about her being stinky. No. In true Charlotte fashion, she turns to Anthony to tell him and get some advice of the following. 1, Rose doesn't want to be labeled as a girl. She doesn't feel like a girl. Anthony's like, yeah, and? I didn't expect that. Wait for it. And she's like, well, I think that, I should listen to her. And he's like, why? Ignore it. Okay. Again, from Anthony, did not expect that. He says, when she was 6, she thought she was a dog. Is she a dog now? I thought he was making a funny until Charlotte says, well, when that happened, I actually put down a bowl of water for her for a week. What? Are we going to skip over this? Did anybody hear that? Did you watch this? Did you hear that? So now we're accepting people to feel like they're other species? So it's not about pronouns or anything else. Now we're just other species? And she put down a bowl of what? Because she wanted to. Anthony's like, you're too indulgent. I'm like, too indulgent? You don't think you're the problem, Charlotte? No wonder he's reacting this way. I couldn't figure it out. He's like, hey, when I was a child, I wanted to be a fairy. My mother didn't cut holes in my shirt and put wings on me. That's a great analogy. Stop it. What do you mean you put a bowl? What would you have done if she would have started drinking out of a bowl, Charlotte? Would you put a leash on her? I can't take this scene seriously. I can't take Charlotte seriously. I can't take this profession of not feeling like a girl at all seriously, because if that was the case, no wonder Anthony, the biggest fairy of them all, is telling you, don't listen to her. You don't know what she's going to become. No wonder he had to listen to this crap. Charlotte, please stop. Oh my God. She's part of the problem, not part of the solution now. I had to take a minute because I am just envisioning her. Why couldn't we just see that flashback? I would have loved to see that flashback. I really would have. Okay, next. There's not much of Charlotte that goes on because then she's regrouped with Ding Dong number 2 and Ding Dong number 3. So I'll go into the grouping at the end, towards the end. Let's go to Miranda. Miranda, next scene after she leaves the building is with her husband. Steve, her husband, legally, on the show at least. They're doing their, I guess, weekend, ritual where they're watching movies and eating. And Brady and girlfriend are in the kitchen and licking each other's spoons. And that's not a metaphor. It really is that. And Miranda asks Steve, Steve asked Miranda, do you think that we should have allowed them to have sex in the house? you have to ask the question, then you think that you may be wrong. The girlfriend tells Miranda that she should be drinking whole milk because of her aging bones. Miranda says, say what? And she goes, oh no, I'm sorry, everybody's aging. We're all aging. That's the definition of living. And then bippity boppity boo, the prince and the crazy go up the stairs into their room, I guess to have sex, while deaf Steve, or hearing loss Steve, and Miranda are on the couch watching them ritual TV and eating everything. God, this show is so bad. It really is. Next scene with our friend Miranda, where I say loosely our friend because we've lost her somewhere in between last episode and the entire season series of Sex and the City. They're at Che's comedy special for Netflix. The three of them. Ding Dong 1, 2, and 3. Che, still not funny. She's making comments about coming out to her family, about how people who are, non-binary or lesbian or gay are depicted on television or TV shows. And everybody's saying, hoo hoo, hoo hoo, hoo hoo. And that if you want to change your life, change your shirt, change your direction. Don't be, don't be stagnant. And she just goes on. And then something hits Miranda about changing. Whatever speech that this woman or Che is giving, it's resonating with Miranda during this whole scene. And again, you can see the life slowly leaving Miranda, though she feels like it is not. Okay, the show's over. Miranda wants to stay for the after party. Okay, I just can't visualize someone at that age saying after party. Isn't your after party going home to your husband? Please? No, of course not. She walks out of the club with Ding Dong 1 and 2, and they're waiting for an Uber, and she's taking her own separate Uber, and she tells them, no, I don't want to take an Uber with you guys. Everything's going to be great. Please go. She throws them into the Uber, and she goes back to the club, for the after party. She finds Che. She walks up to Che. She tells Che, oh my God, I feel like I've been a robot going home. And everything you said about change. And I just said it hit me. I need to change. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Che is like, slow down. Because Che's already been smoking weed and she's still smoking weed. So she's like, slow down, because this is probably how she hears her. She goes, how about if she asks her if she tells her you should do some weed. At this point, yeah, please. Because Miranda's just going off. Whatever it takes to calm her down, please. Give her anything. A volume, whatever you got. Throw it at her. Miranda professes, oh, I don't know. I'm not good at that. I've never been good at that. And if I don't do something I'm not good at. She says, how about if I shotgun you? And Miranda says, is that when you... I'm like, funny how you know that. So Che takes a big puff. She leans in close to Miranda and she shotguns the weed into her mouth. And you hear the music and it's slowing down. And that was the moment Miranda became a groupie and has been connected to Che for every episode thereafter. Now, what I want to know, is this weed non-binary specific, or can anyone use this on anyone? Because if you can, could you email me here down below? I'm just asking for a friend. Because that was the most powerful weed I've ever seen in my life. That was the moment that she became a cult member. That's it. She goes crazy. Okay. Now we have to watch Miranda practically jump on top of Che every day. Again, how strong is that weed and what's in it? Is this on the streets? Like, do you just buy it from a friend? Like, what's going on? What's happening? I would like to know. I'm just, curious. Just a little bit. Mm-hmm. Carrie. Carrie's going down the rabbit hole. Terry going down the rabbit hole because now she's obsessed with the fact that she doesn't know anything about her dead husband. You know, the one that she killed for not calling 911. I'm jumping on that train now. She is up at night in her bed thinking about different things. She starts checking Big's everything. His phone, his computer. She can't log into his computer because she doesn't have the password, which is kind of odd. For couples, is that odd? Do you not have like passwords of each other's electronics? I don't know. She finds a phone number in Big's pocket of one of his blazers suits, and she calls it, and it happens to be their house phone number. She goes again and checks another. She finds his wallet, and she opens up a secret compartment, and at this point I'm like hoping it's anybody, and it's a dog, Kogi, that she never knew about. It's a little odd. She goes back to sleep. She wakes up. She is talking to Miranda, and she's telling her that she is obsessed with trying to figure out why Big left money to Natasha. So she tells Miranda that she emailed her and she hasn't heard back from her for maybe 4 or 5 hours. Miranda says, she's probably busy. She's a sympathetic person. She's going to reach out to you. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Okay. Carrie finds her on Instagram. Another reason why I'm not on Instagram. I don't like people finding me. That's really weird. She directs messaged her, and all of a sudden, as she's still on the phone with Miranda, she gets blocked from Natasha. And in comes the enraging point. Miranda says that freaking bitch. And now we have the scene of all three ding-dongs stalking Natasha at her office. Because high holy hell, Carrie's gonna talk to Natasha whether she likes it or not. Atta girl. That's how you deal with, obsession. So they're in a black car and they see Natasha getting out of a car because they're stalking her at her office, and she's walking, and all of a sudden Charlotte says she's wearing flats. Miranda, thank God for that moment, a brief moment that she's still Miranda. She goes, that is the biggest insult I've ever heard in my life. My God, leave the woman alone. She wants to wear flats. Dear God, at least she's not wearing what you're wearing, which we still don't even know what you're wearing, Charlotte. Carrie goes inside her office. She asks the receptionist to please let her know that she's here waiting for her. She gets seated at the reception area with the biggest canvas art I've ever seen that literally enveloped the entire room, and it's all of a sheep with grass. This is the best one I can find. Suddenly, Natasha's assistant comes out and apologizes for keeping her waiting because she didn't know she was out there. But Natasha's not here. She's in Rome. Hence, when in Rome. And wow, that set off Carrie. Carrie starts going back to the location where she dropped off Ding Dong 1 and 2, which was at a coffee shop. She goes into the coffee shop and she is telling them that Natasha lied to her, that she knows that she's there. That she's in, and this is how she's in Rome. You see that face? That's exactly what she did. I'm like, oh my God. Why are you talking like that? If I look crazy, you look even crazier. So you see them walking and talking, all three of them, and she's standing outside of the window of Natasha's office, and she's yelling and screaming at them, saying, I know she's there and she shouldn't, she's lying to me, and I know that she's right up there. And of course, then you see Natasha looking down at them, and they all start, oh my God, she saw me. Well, of course, you stupid ding dongs. If you're standing outside of the office, what did you think was going to happen? Stellar writing. Oh my God. This was hard to get through. I'm sorry, but oof. So they start running off as Natasha sees them. And now we have Carrie, who's obsessed of trying to figure out why Natasha's ignoring her. So the next scenes, you see Carrie walking, and all she does is walk in like 50-inch heels throughout the entire city. She's in Central Park, she's on the west side, she's on the east side. If she can dive off a cliff, would be great, but that doesn't happen. She's calling Miranda and she's telling her, you know, I need to have this face-to-face with her. Okay. Then she calls Charlotte, who's walking Richard Burton, and she's telling her, I need to get over this. And Charlotte's like, but there's nothing wrong. And she's like, please, let me get upset. Let me get hurt. I'm like, I can go and hurt you. You want me to knock you upside your head? You big ding dong. Stop it. Why are you so obsessed with this woman? Big loved you. You killed him. Did you not have enough? Oh my God. She tells Charlotte that she's going to walk into this cafe on the Upper West Side because she needs to pee. And that she is going to keep walking after that and probably have to pee again in Chelsea because that's what she's doing. She walks into this pseudo random coffee shop and she goes over to the bathroom door. And I have never in my life seen this. Do you not lock a public bathroom door? Public, not private. Public. She's able to open the door, and guess who's there? It's Natasha peeing. I was like, oh wow, they really didn't know how to put this scene together and how they were going to finally meet. Carrie closes the door and she drops the hot coffee on her arm and it burns her. So instead of her going out of the coffee shop, she sits down at the coffee shop to wait for Natasha peeing fiasco with a public door that's not locked to come out. Natasha goes up to her because she sees her and she goes, really, Carrie? Here in a coffee shop? In my office? What are you going to do? Stalk me at Equinox? Carrie's like, I just want a moment of your time. And Natasha goes off on her. I don't want to give you another moment of my time. I've thought enough about you. I don't want to think about you ever again. Again, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Only because maybe in reality, I would probably react the same way. But I don't know. After so many years, it's like, oh my God, the man's dead. Give it up. Give up the ghost. She sees that Carrie's arm is burned, and instead of her walking away, she sits down and she gives her a bag of ice. And this is where I said, oh my God, this would be a great storyline if this was really what I thought it was going to go down. She says, my son has low blood sugar, so I have to keep ice. And I was like, it's Big's baby. And he knew it. So he left her money. Oh my God, this is going to be fantastic. This is going to be hilarious. This is going to be not what it is at all. So Carrie says, oh, you have a kid? She goes, no, I have 2 sons. The next scene is her giving her ice. Carrie asking, why did you get the $1 million for the will? Natasha's like, I don't know. I told my lawyer I don't want it to donate it. So neither of them knew. And then they both agreed that Big was not the greatest communicator. And that Carrie feels that he gave her the money because he's a finance person to, because he felt bad. And Natasha's like, okay. And Natasha gets up and she tells her, I'm sorry for your loss. And Carrie says, thank you for that. And then Carrie says, I'm sorry for everything, which I do believe she tried to apologize to her 25 years ago. And Natasha all of a sudden says, hey, we're cool. Don't worry about it. It's in the past. Really? Now? So this whole scene was for nothing? You ignored her. Said you were wrong. Blocked her from the social media. You came out of the bathroom screaming. And now we're cool. Does it? And she says, I don't think we should follow each other on Instagram. And, oh, by the way, I don't know why Big married me, because he was in love with you. And finally, Carrie's like, oh, he was. Oh my God. He was in love with me. I go back to, if you need that as validity for this man to be loving you, what was your relationship like? I don't. Natasha leaves. We don't see her again. Bye. That whole thing was to give validation to Crazy Town, for her to feel that she was loved by Big. Okay. I don't even know what this is. The next scene with Carrie is that she's in the car that she was thrown into from the after party. I'm sorry, from the Netflix special from Che. And Charlotte is, and this is why I was like, whoa. Charlotte is telling her, hey, I have something to tell you. Have you noticed that Miranda has been drinking a lot, and that she was digging in her bag while they were waiting for Carrie to stalk Natasha at the coffee shop for a phone charger, and she found 3 little Tito bottles in her bag, and she says, 3 little Tito bottles. Don't you think that's weird? And I'm like, no. You keeping a bowl of water for your daughter who thinks she's a dog on the floor is weird. Charlotte. So you have no gauge of what strange is, Charlotte? I don't even understand what's happening. This show is ridiculous. Like utterly, utterly ridiculous. So this is what's happening? Miranda, Carrie's like, could you shut up? I got my own problems. I don't want to hear it. Literally, that's how pretty much she put it. Yeah, okay, it's weird. Whatever. Everybody's drinking, and you suck. And could you please stop noticing things? The next scene is Carrie coming out of the car, and she's looking up at the Fifth Avenue apartment with her dead husband that she murdered. And the doorman says, Mrs. Preston, are you coming in? And she says, no, I'm going to go for a walk. And she walks back to her original apartment. And you just see her going up the steps. And just like that, I walked myself home. It's over. I watched it 4 times. I gave you all I have. I cannot give you more. This is it. However this turns out, I hope I made you laugh. Because this thing was just stupid. From the rooter to the tutor. From the beginning to the end. And you know what? I know what's coming next. Not good. But I hope I can bring some joy and laughter. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, everyone, again, for liking, for subscribing, for viewing, for reviewing, for sharing, for commenting. Please tell me, how did you feel? Do you remember this episode? Did I bring back any memories of hell? Are you finding this enjoyable? I'm actually enjoying watching this. Wait. Let me rephrase this. I enjoyed rewatching this for you, my beautiful people. I cannot tell you again. I'm going to say this every single time. It makes me happy when I make you guys laugh. This was hard. But now we have season 1, episode 4, and that is the Samantha 2.0 epilogues. Oh, beginning of crap. Sorry, not epilogues. And you know how I feel about her, right? Oh, this is going to be just great. So, I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day. I hope that you enjoyed this. Please comment. Enjoy yourselves. Make something funny. Make it funny for you. And by the way, what are you guys watching other than this? Because there are times I'm watching other shows that I need to purge my eyes out because I can't watch the show. So let me know what else you're watching. I'm beginning to look into Desperate Housewives, and I'm a little concerned. I want to know, for the people who voted for Desperate Housewives, what are you getting me into? I'm afraid. I've seen some stuff out there. Is this going to be, am I going to be able to do deadpan humor, or am I just going to be deadpan? Thank you again, everyone. Have a wonderful and blessed Saturday. I love you all. Thank you. Goodbye. Mwah.